Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. There is just one thing left to do to the Blazer to get it back on the road. And that's got to do with my tunes. So it seems like I've been dealing with radios a lot lately. I just did the C20. I also did a little bit of work on the MGB, but didn't record any of that. And now I've got to work on the Blazer. Now, the Blazer is, it's had a radio for a long time, but a little less than a year ago I had the windshield replaced. And if you don't know, the antenna goes through the windshield and kind of like plugs into a little receptacle in the dashboard. Well, the person that installed the windshields kind of screwed that up a little bit, and there's no way of plugging it into its little receptacle. So unfortunately, I've got to take the dashboard out to get to it. Now that doesn't bother me too much because I also do need to take the radio itself out. It lives right there. Because when I did the carpet, I reran some new wires because the old ones got broken. So now's my chance to wire up the rear speakers. So taking the dashboard off is pretty easy on these guys. Pretty much all you gotta do is get rid of the crap that you left on the dashboard from doing the interior. B, undo all of these screws for the bezel and gauge cluster. And then finally, basically what you gotta do is just undo some screws all along the bottom. I believe those take 10mm heads. They should be 3/8, but I think they're 10 millimeters. So, yeah, it's pretty basic and straightforward, so let's get to it. So I also might not actually take this completely apart. It kind of depends on how much room I have behind the stereo, because if I've got plenty of room behind the stereo to just reach up and grab it and plug the guy together, then that's what I'll do. If not, then I guess we're taking the whole thing out. And I got my parts dish and trusty Posi-Drive screwdriver, and we're just going to start taking this dash bezel out. Now this guy basically ready to just come out. Slide the rubber seal up, finagle it around the headlight switch, and that's pretty much it. But before I completely take this apart, let's talk about radio installs and the butchery involved. So pretty much all of these install kits, obviously you are going to have to cut the dashboard. We've all done it, and I did this before, and there's a few different ways to do it, and usually it doesn't agree with what the manufacturer of the kit says. So I've got this guy fully mounted on its plate to the actual dashboard. The kit actually comes usually with a little piece, right, like a little template right here, and they want you to actually put the tray, like the cage for the radio, through the front of the gauge bezel, and then clamp onto the actual reinforcement plate. I am not a big fan of that because that means that you need to completely dismantle and remove the radio to get your gauge bezel out. So I'm not about that. So what I did is, basically just cut the hole a little bit larger and have the radio go through. Now, I kind of butchered this a little bit, but you know, don't hate me. It's already been cracked in a few places. It's not really worth saving. I made this a little bit too big because I was trying to get, there's like a trim ring that comes with the radio. I was trying to get that to fit, but that wasn't going to fit at all. So I should have just left this tight and not so big, and then this would have looked a lot better. But you know, you live and you learn. Alright, so now here you can see the reinforcement plate that came with the kit. It should be screwed in, but as you can see, there are no screws. That's because those are the screws that hold the bezel in. So this guy just gets sandwiched between everything and stiffens everything up. The other thing is, I didn't just cut a rectangle. What I did do is I actually cut it top, bottom, and then a single cut in the middle. And that meant I can take the original pieces of the dash, fold them back in on themselves. And what that does is mean that if I ever want to put this back to stock, I still have the material there to fold it back up, weld it back together, and try to have half a chance of it looking stock. So that's that. So now I'm going to pull this radio out and see if I can't get up behind it. Bare minimum, I would get to rewire those rear speakers, which the pigtails are sitting right there. Alright, got the radio back in and rewired. Didn't feel like showing that. It's a little beyond the scope of dealing with a dashboard. But if you want, I can do a video at some point. Also, any of you guys ever lose these guys? It took me a little while to find them. In the past, I'll also just like cut some strips of sheet metal and make my own. But for those that don't know, these come with the radio, they stick in, and they basically let you pull it out. Gonna like undo the lock tab and pull the guy out. So anyway, move on to the dashboard. Obviously mine's nasty and cracked, and I'm gonna probably do something about that soon. And by soon I mean like, I don't know, somewhere between now and 5 years from now. But no mind, we're going to pull it out. There are a couple screws along the bottom. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them, and I was definitely mistaken before. This guy takes, what was it? Yeah, 930 seconds. Got 9/32 socket on there on a socket driver. So just gonna pull those guys out. It is not 10 millimeters. Something else is 10 mils. I think it might be the glove box, or 8 mils. Something is metric on this dashboard. So just gotta pull those screws out. All right, that should be it. And this should just kind of lift out. Good thing is it's cracked, so I can't crack it anymore. Alright, so there we go. Actually, well, yeah, I might as well just go all the way out. Whew, it's a lot of dust to clean up. I should probably deal with that. So yeah, a lot of dust on there to clean up. But you can see these little clips are kind of what hold it in by the windshield frame, and then it's literally just 4 screws along on top of the glove box right there, and then the bezel holds the rest in. So yeah, there is my naked dashboard, and this right here is the guy. It just needs to plug into this guy, which was super buried behind everything, and I just couldn't get. It's sad, but I think that is literally just it. It was just poking behind it was like, you know, behind the dashboard, so I just couldn't see it. I also have a completely disintegrated center speaker. That's not being used, so I might as well just take that out for now. And I guess I lost a screw. Who knew I had a few screws loose? So now I'm just going to clean everything up and put it back together. So there we go, reinstalled, got the bezel back on as well as the dash pad. So yeah, pretty basic, pretty simple, but definitely something that needed to be done because I needed to get that antenna plugged in. So that's going to be it for today. See you next time. Thanks for watching. So taking the dashboards off, blah, blah, those are words. So taking the dashboards off